I would like to call the special meeting of the City Council of Monte Sereno to order at 8:55 p.m. May we start with a roll call, please?
Would you like me to read the?
Yes.
So thank you for joining us this evening for the December 2022 Monte Sereno City Council special meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, I'd like to point out a few house rules to assist the council members, staff, members of the public to successfully participate in this meeting. Council members, your microphone is live, so please keep your microphones on mute until you wish to speak. For tonight's meeting, we're using Zoom to host the City Council special meeting. At the bottom of the Zoom client, there are two icons, chat and raise hand. Please use chat only to report technical issues such as being unable to hear a council member speaking. Please use raise hand to be recognized by the mayor and able to speak to the council. To comment under oral communication or any agenda item, you are allowed 3 minutes to speak per agenda item. Only attendees using Zoom application can use the raise hand option to comment. Participants calling in from a telephone will only be able to listen and cannot provide feedback or public comment. Lastly, because we're not on the same room, all votes in this meeting will be taken by roll call.
Thank you. I'd like to call the special meeting of the City Council to order on December the 20th, 2022 at 8:57 p.m. May we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Councilmember Craig,
Here.
Councilmember Lahi,
Here.
Councilmember Turner,
Here.
Vice Mayor Wilsheimer,
Here.
and Mayor Mickiewicz.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, oral communications. Any member of the public may have up to 3 minutes to speak on any item that is not on the agenda. Would any member, if you are a member of the public and would like to speak, please raise your virtual hand.
No hands are raised.
No hands are raised. We will close oral communications. Do we have any written communications that were received prior to the meeting on this agenda item?
Nothing was received.
No written communications. With that, we will move to new business. And we will consider and approve the agreement between the City of Monte Sereno and Kohlsaat and Associates to perform architectural services. Do we have a staff report, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. For council consideration this evening is an agreement between the City of Monte Sereno and Kohlsaat Architectural Services to provide services to help further design the community center next door. As council may be aware of, there was a previous architectural firm and contract, but this is an additional firm and agreement for it amounts to, it looks like to be less than $10,000 more in services in areas of expertise that are required based on the feedback provided by the finance committee to help value engineer the project and bring it further ahead in the process. That concludes my comments. Please, we are available for questions, if any, from council. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager Leonardis. As a member of the ad hoc committee, I will say that we looked at trying to value engineer and make some changes to the community center. And there were a number of conversations that we had with potential contractors to see how they would suggest some changes be made. And we're also looking at applying for some grants that if we had that functionality, the features and the components that they're looking for, that we would have some grant money available to us. And this agreement is for providing schematic diagrams that would show alternatives to the configuration. And I think that Mr. Kohlsaat, he has been very involved in architectural design in our community, including along Highway 9. So his insight is very valuable. Do we have any? And I believe is Mr. Kohlsaat online?
Yes.
He is. If he would like to make a few words and or offer himself for questions from council.
Would you like me to promote him now?
Yes, if you would promote him now, please.
Gary, you're on mute. You're welcome to speak.
There we go. And I got
Hi,
the
hi.
video.
I'll just give a brief intro. We've got your agreement here, and if you'd like to make a few words, that would be great, and maybe you could answer some questions if we have any questions from City Council.
Yes. I have to say that number one, this is a very important project for me because over 30 years, probably almost 40 years ago, I helped work on the old City Hall, which is this building, with the architect I was working with, Maurice Camargo, and we worked for Rosemary Pierce and John Turchin, and we worked on this project. So I'm very familiar with the building. And so what I've offered to do is donate my personal time to work on this project. The hours that are in this agreement are only for my staff to make that whole. But when I was called to take a look at this, the design for the community center, the proposed designs, I have to say that I have a much different angle on this, a different perspective to make this project be much different. I think way more successful. I've got a lot of ideas kicking around. But the idea really is to solve the problem of multiple problems and keep it in budget. The original design was way over budget, and I think we have a better angle or design to make this happen. So what this proposal will be is what we're going to create and provide to you is a three-dimensional model that we can spin around, we can turn around, we can look at this whole thing as it sits on the site, as it relates to the parking lot, as it relates to the existing City Hall and Highway 9 and the corner, and how it all functions. And with that exhibit, or with the exhibits that we can provide, we can now get new cost estimates and see if we're on the right track. So it's just something that I think that it will be very positive for the community. And as a matter of fact, looking forward, I've already got proposals from a landscape architect donating his time, and my energy consultant that's donating some of their time. And so I've got some connections in the community that I think that with this really cool presentation that we can do, hopefully will also work as possible, even fundraising, if that is acceptable to the city.
I think that fundraising is always successful in front of the city. Do we have any questions from council? Go ahead, Council Member Alahi.
Mr. Kohlsaat, your input is really very welcome. The experience you have and the background you have, and especially your offer to work for free for your part is really welcome. And in a sense, you're like us. We're all volunteering our time for the city, so you're also going to be joining us with that. Thank you, and you bring a vast knowledge, and you're very well recommended, and you have excellent reputation in this area. So thank you so much. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Other questions from council members? No. Do we have any comments from the public? Oh, I see Councilmember Turner has her hand up, but
No other comments.
no other comments, so we'll close public comment. And now, Councilmember Turner, go ahead, please.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I want to ask, when you talk about phase 1 and phase 2, what are these phases and what are the deliverables for those phases? Can you please explain?
Yes, I'd be happy to. What we're going to do is do schematic designs. We're going to show floor plans with functionality, i.e. furniture, other uses, how those rooms are going to function. We're going to have exterior. The whole outside is going to be shown in 3 dimensions. With our computer software, when we build when we show a wall on the floor plan, it comes in three dimensions automatically. So we can have doors and windows and roofing, but we're also looking at systems on a large, from a global, macro perspective, that not only the heating and air conditioning and lighting systems and technology systems, but also just the structural system. And that was a big part of what we discovered with the original proposal. And so that's also going to be, so we're going to have a couple of structural wall sections. So we'll have all of your basic designs that you might see if you're on the site and architecture committee. You'll have a site plan, you'll have a floor plan, you'll have all the elevations, a roof plan, but also we'll have a lot of 3-dimensional renderings, and we'll put in some landscaping and to kind of make it personal.
So
And
is that phase 1? I'm sorry.
That's phase 2. So phase one is information collecting, also seeking proposals from my other consultants, which I already have quite a bit of that already. I was actually ready to go all the way through construction documents, but in speaking with the manager, the city manager, Leonardis, he suggested that we just scale it back and just do a design phase first, and then we can take it from there without committing full on for the whole project, and we can just see what I can deliver to you to get you excited about it and to get the community excited about it, but also to get to really get a good understanding of what this might cost.
Yeah, so is it possible for you to document phase 1 and phase 2 so that when our residents ask us, where are we, what are your expectations, that we know what the deliverables are for each one of them?
Well, I believe I've done that in my proposal. If you look at phase 2 schematic design, I do list floor plans, roof plan, elevations, 3D renderings, site plan, and then we'll do our meeting. So those are the deliverables.
Okay.
And then also the non-tangible ones, which would be meeting with potential contractors and also technology people as well.
And what is your time frame for the specifics in this contract? How long will this take to complete?
We believe we'll have some rough designs to show whoever is going to be reviewing it. I'm not exactly clear on who my client will be. Is it going to be a small committee? Is it going to be staff? Is it going to be Diana? Is it going to be the council, the site and architecture? I'm not sure exactly who my client is, but we will have a first round within 2 weeks of the new year. And then hopefully we can parlay it into a final thing within the month of January. So we are on a fast track to do this. I put it on a high priority because I know that there are grants that have timelines that we are really trying to do our best to work with those timelines.
So when you talk about a client, you're talking about the project manager on the city side, is that correct?
I honestly, I don't have 100% clarity on that. the manager wasn't 100% sure as well. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm very confident that we will be able to please, as long as we're not dealing with 100 people. If it's a small group, I think that it's much easier to communicate those designs and work with those with people to show you what the functions would be, the layouts of the floor plan, for example, and where we plan to do the additions and how we plan to treat all those spaces. Yes.
So is the work then that you're doing necessary to bring a proposal to the council, detailing the features and the cost of the project?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. I have another question, if you don't mind, please.
Go ahead.
I see that when they pay the city for permits, plan checks, and so forth, they plan to charge that back to us with a 15% surcharge. Can you explain that a little bit more, please?
You're talking about in the reimbursables?
Yes.
So that probably is not applicable right now, but whenever for example, let me just give you an example. If you were my client and we were presenting a project to the city, you would be paying the fees to the city as a client. Now, if you wanted me to pay the fees for you on your behalf, I would pay them, but I would charge you 15%. If you wanted me to hire the structural engineer, for example, rather than you pay them direct, then I would charge 10% on top of those fees. That's the markup. So that's only when the client instructs the architect to pay those fees directly and not pay them themselves. So in the case of the city being the client paying the city, there's no middleman. I'm not the middleman. And so there's no monkey business here going on here at all. And I can assure you that the city's attorney has looked at that and will make sure that will not be the case.
Okay, thank you. Let me ask one more. What is your understanding for the budget? What is it supposed to be?
Those numbers are a target between 500 and 1 million. So there's a lot of discrepancy there.
That's pretty broad.
Yes, exactly. So basically it's to keep it as cost effective as possible, and to get all these systems that we want, and to achieve a project that is done well and done right and done only once and not multiple times, and done with care and knowledge of all these systems, from structural to waterproofing to energy conservation, etc. So that's one reason why we are doing this as a small investment to find out exactly where the pricing is going to be. If I was going to do a brand new, if this was a start to finish brand new on a residential property, this probably would, there's a range of costs. We do several of these. We've done several of these. This basically an ADU. And they can go from anywhere from $500-600 to, depending on how well you furnish them and trick them out, it could go up to, I've done $1 million ADUs, 1,200 square feet. So I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to say that this is $1 million building. I don't know what it's going to be, but so just working the best we can. And then once we get the construction budget, we can just say, okay, is this going to happen or not? Or how do we get extra funds to make it right?
Okay, I
Part of
just,
that's part of the exercise, right?
yeah. I think, you know, I appreciate your answers. I think you have very good answers. I think we need to develop a proposal to be able to, for our residents to really understand how much we're spending here. So what I would suggest to you is that as we move along, that we properly agendize our meetings so that we get more participants in our meetings rather than the 3 that we have today, right? So I think it's necessary that we spend, you know, this amount of money to be able to move this project forward with the blessing of the citizens and the residents of Monte Sereno. So thank you for your answers.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Councilmember Turner. Looking at our meetings, we're going to meet on, I believe, the 17th of January. And then we're going to be meeting on the 21st of February. And then we're going to be meeting on the 7th of March. And I am wondering, Gary, if you think that we could be ready to have a request for proposal go out, that we approve the contents of it at the March 7th meeting.
And what would that proposal include?
Sorry. Essentially, bid documents of bid.
Construction documents?
Well, not a full construction, something so that people can bid on the project. A bid package.
From my experience, the package that we're going to be putting together for you after this preliminary phase will get you soft cost estimates, soft estimates.
Yep.
The only way to get a hard number is to have everything done. And 95% of the contractors will tell you the exact same thing. Without structural plans, engineering details, without the energy package, without mechanical and electrical and plumbing packages drawn up and specified, there's going to be a lot of, oh, it's about this and it's about that. And so that's not going to get you a number that is fully, it's a full bid package. And so I just wanted to make that clear, that in order to get that kind of a hard number, you'd have to have a set that's complete to the point that where we'd be having building permits and more. And that's not part of what this scope is, right?
Understood. Okay.
It's kind of like you have to pay to play type of a thing.
Oh, I get it. I'm more concerned with, I guess, the timeline. Like we've already agreed. Well, this is for city council. We've agreed to do something, and the question is, what do we want in that scope, and what do we think the estimated cost is going to be? Because if we send something out for bid that we can't afford, then we've wasted time and money. So, but that's neither here nor there for now. But you've answered that question. Do we have other questions by council? No?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the only thing before us today is to approve this particular contract so he can get started. And then once he's done that, he can let us know what else is needed by him to get us a document that we can then send out for bids, and we'll have to agendize that as quickly thereafter. So I would move to accept the agreement that's been put before us.
Okay, we've already had public comment on this, correct?
Right.
So we've got a motion on the floor to accept approve the agreement as it is. We're looking for a second. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Turner, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to say to Mr. Kohlsaat that if you can actually be more specific about the project costs, because 500 million to $1 million is a big delta. That would actually help would help us a lot, and it would help us sell this project to the residents. So that was my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got a motion and we're looking for a second.
I'll second.
We have a second from Councilmember Craig. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Turner,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Lahey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wilshire,
Yes.
and Mayor Michalchuk.
Aye, motion carries. With that, I believe there's no further business. So this meeting is adjourned at 9:20. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.